Hey everybody, welcome to another Fast Trax live Wednesday night. Thanks for joining me. If you don't know who I am, my name is Paul Abernathy, and I am the CEO and founder of Electrical Code Academy. And I'm in McKinney, Texas. It's about 30 miles northeast of Dallas, Texas, just south of Oklahoma. Great folks up in Oklahoma. So thanks for joining me, all of my Fast Track students, folks that are out there that are in the current program. Those that are interested in purchasing the Fast Tracks program, maybe want to see a little bit of what it's all about. And even maybe some new friends that have migrated over here from some of the other social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram and all those crazy locations. Okay. So anyway, welcome and thanks for joining me. Look at it. What is this? Jesse says, swell yourself? What are you talking about, Jesse? I'm big and in live and bold right here on the screen. I want to give a shout out to all of our students that are joining us. Schwartzy, as always, thank you. Lou, thanks for joining. Oh, David, thanks for joining me. CMECP in the house. Jesse, not sure what the heck Jesse's talking about, but am I ever really sure what Jesse's talking about? No, not. Adam, thanks for joining. Dustin, thanks for joining tonight as always. Red Dog, thanks for joining. Alberto, Ortiz in the house from over on TikTok. Thank you, Ortiz. Thanks for joining me. David P, thanks for joining me as well. Man, I've already jumped into the thanks, and I haven't even got to that part of the show yet. Anyway, I'm excited to welcome everybody to the stream. Okay, so... Oh, it's how am I doing? Is that some slang, Jesse? Is that a new slang? I'm doing great. I hope all of y'all are doing great. Thanks for taking the time to join me tonight. I know this is a big night for people that like politics, right? Hopefully you'll be paying more attention to Twitter than you will the actual debate, but I'm not going to say anything else about that. Welcome. A couple things. Let me kind of throw some things out there really quick since I got you Fast Track students in the house and a lot of those that are visiting. Over on our TikTok, I'm not a big TikToker, but we have started, Darlene's taking care of that. She's actually posting questions. I am commenting, but only on our content. We are kind of changing the way we do that platform. That platform is going to be where we share code questions, code graphics from our Fast Tracks program to help educate people there. And if they want to come over and see what it's really like to get real education, in other words, get education, it's what we call the long form style of education, then we welcome to come over. I'm just not a big fan of the TikTok thing, but we're still going to do it. And my wife has convinced me that we have to keep doing that. So people who escaped the Matrix, I had some music for that. Thank you for joining us. Walter, welcome. Walter's been posting some pictures and some installations. Looking good, Walter. Always on the ball and sharp. Let's see here. Kyle, made it in time. Yes, you did, sir. Another Fast Track student. So, okay, let me get to some business at hand for all of the Fast Track students that are out there because I got stuff I've got to cover. I guess the first one is not the greatest news. I guess. What is it? What am I supposed to hit? We will be doing a purge. Okay. People hate that term, right? They hate the term purge. Sounds like some freaking movie. I did see that movie though. But we will be doing a purge. So if your Fast Tracks course is over a year old, once the purge is done, you will lose access. Okay. And we don't offer extensions anymore. So that was a COVID thing. But the rumor is COVID's coming back. So hell, maybe extensions will come back. Who knows? But we don't we don't have them right now. So it can come back, but I'm not masking up and I'm not getting any more shots. So it can do whatever it wants to do. Okay. All right. So purge will take place probably not until the weekend. So if you're studying, you're still in your course, it's been over a year, just keep at it. If you're still able to have access, just keep studying, study. After the purge, you'll probably lose access. But that's only for people that are over a year. Okay. And we've been very lax on that since we've kind of slimmed down here in the office. We've kind of just let that go. So, and we're, need to make sure we stay up on that. Also, if there's anybody out there in our program that is the Fast Trax Plus and you purchased it and you have not gotten access to the Fast Trax Tube yet, but you're a Fast Trax Plus member and you're watching, please holler out at us and let us know so that we can give you the instructions on what you need to do over on Fast Trax Tube. Because that's where we have the videos and a lot of the stuff is still moving over there. So it's a slow process, but I want you to be able to have access. So if you need access, I want you to have access. What else? Get these things out of the way for all of you Fast Track students. Caron, I think that's Caron. Welcome for tuning in. Appreciate it. And again, folks, we like likes. We like shares. We love all that good stuff, so you can get your little dude bounce up on the screen if you like the stream or subscribe to the channel. But I only think it works on YouTube, by the way. I don't know. All right, and that's where most people watch it anyway. Okay. Also coming up, we are going to have a webinar that is going to be scheduled, and I will announce that. It'll be on our website, so you're going to go to where it says, I don't remember what the hell it says on our website. Anyway, it's somewhere where it says, it says events. We are going to have a grounding and bonding, a service grounding and bonding webinar. So you'll learn everything about service bonding, all of that type of thing. So we'll definitely have that. Get those clicks. Yeah. So that is over on it'll be under the events tab on our website. Okay. Makes sense? Okay. Enough of that. All right. So what we're going to do tonight is, rather than a lesson, because we did a lesson the last 2 weeks, tonight we're going to do exam questions. Hopefully you have your code book with you. Now, as y'all all know, I do not have index electronically. And why they don't include that in Link, I mean, I don't know. I guess they figure because you got a search feature, but they should realize that educators use Link, and so it would be nice to have the index, but they don't listen to me, so that's probably never going to happen. Okay? So I do have my code book too, right here, and this is the 2020. We'll probably be looking at the 2023, but the index should work the same, get you in the right direction. And a lot of the stuff you're probably going to just know from the Fast Trax program, so that type of thing. So we'll struggle through it together and see if we can't find it. Of course, I'm using Link, so I get to actually see all of the articles, so it makes it a little easier. But you're using your code book, okay? All right, so what we're going to do, though, is we're going to work out a questions that are going to be out of... I'm choked up tonight. It's going to be out of the new database, okay? So again, we haven't looked at very many of these. We started dabbling in this database when we were doing the Wednesday night closed session. And some of them are good questions. Some of them, the theory ones, they don't do very well, okay? But other than that, they're not too bad. So we're going to look at some of those tonight. Remember, if you're in the 2020 or the 2023 edition of your Fast Trax program, then you are going to have access to this database, this extra additional database. If you're in the 2017, you are not. So you still got your normal database of 800 plus your competency, but you're not going to get the extra database. Why? Because it just wasn't available. Okay, so we were able to get it for the 2020 and the 2023. But not for the 2017. So sorry for all of those. Let me give a... Sorry about that. It ain't that I don't love you 2017 folks. It's just it wasn't available, so we didn't get it. It's just that simple. Okay? All right. Let's go on and look at some questions. Y'all ready? All right, everybody got their code book. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put the question on the screen, and I'm going to see if you can give me the answer. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a timer. And we're gonna let me get my timer, and this is how I tell you folks to do it. You've got your phone, and I'm gonna go to the phone feature rather than use the timer that's on the screen, because we could do that, but I'm gonna use the phone feature. I'm gonna go to timer. Okay, I got the timer feature. Y'all see this? And I'm gonna put it on 2 minutes. Okay, and I got it sitting right here in front of me, unless my battery died. And so I'm going to put a question on the screen, and I'm going to see how long it takes for somebody to give us the answer, and then I will help dissect it. Okay, we're going to try that tonight and see how it works. Okay, it's always something new. We're going to do that tonight. Okay, all right. So hopefully you got your code books. If you don't have your code book and you're just going to be blurting out the answer and you have no freaking clue, but you just kind of know, okay. Again, feel free to do that. I'm going to pick and choose what I show anyway, so we'll just kind of go with it that way. Okay, all right. And in these questions are going to be from the 2023 as well, Jesse. So this is a 2023. So if you're 2020, chances are it's probably not going to change. Okay, so it's probably still the same reference. If you give the answer, but you give a different code reference, it's okay. I mean, it's not like I'm going to come hunt you down or nothing. Okay. So that's just too slow. What other sound effects do I have? Nothing good. All right. So I need to change my sound effects database. Somebody remind me that before we're done, I'm going to make sure I change and add some new sound effects. All right. Let's go to the lesson. Okay. All right, folks. So here's the first question that is on the screen. Y'all ready? I'm going to start the timer, and we'll read it together, and then we'll see what you got here. So starting the timer. It's on. You'll be able to hear it when it goes off. It says, flat conductor cable, FCC, shall be permitted to be used in blank locations. All right? All right, so your options are damp, wet, outdoor, and hazard. All right? So y'all are looking this up, but I'm going to give you some hints. As Michael always tells me, I tend to give it away anyway. The trigger in this, that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to give you hints to help you as you crack your code book. Here it is a use permitted. So it shall be permitted. So you're going to either have permitted uses and non-permitted uses. The key here is the trigger is flat conductor cable. Now, if you already know the article, I know, Mike. All right. How deep do you want me to get? Mike, do I just want to let y'all do it? Okay. If everybody wants me to let y'all try to find it, then everybody just kind of say yes. If you want me to let y'all find it, or y'all like me to kind of give you little hints. Okay. Michael says he couldn't wait to hit yes. Okay. Alberto has damp already on the screen. Alberto, give me a code reference where you find that. And I will, if I need to help everybody. Okay. Jesse says yes. Okay. I can't remember what I asked. Did I say yes means you don't want me to help? I can't remember. See, my ADD makes it impossible for me to remember. Okay. Christopher says 324.10. Okay. Is that the true answer, or does that get you in a certain place? Okay. It may or may not be the true complete answer. There we go. Alberto's coming with an actual closer. Oh. All right. That's our timer. Okay. So that's it. So enough of the answers because it needs to be finute. All right. What's up? Hey, what's up, Rewire from old TikTok? We got people coming over from all these different platforms now. All right. So let's look at it here. I think that's Rewire from TikTok. All right. So flat conductor cable. If you know the article, then you're looking at it and go, okay, so let's go to the code really quickly. And we'll just use the 2023 because that's what I got. Excellent. Man's doing some good stuff with the Rewire. Going to be doing some residential training in the front. That's going to be awesome. All right, Lou's got 324. So we all agree it's 324. Okay, so if you got your code book, you can go to the table of contents. Obviously, look for FCC rather than the index. You could go to the index. If you have that kind of mentality that, okay, this is a uses permitted versus uses not permitted type of thing, then I know that's got to be in .10 and .12. That's where I need to generally be for uses permitted and uses not permitted, okay? That type of scenario. All right, so we go to 324, and uses permitted, it's specifically under .10, tells me damp location. So it says FCC system in damp locations shall be permitted. So, but on my screen, I had wet, outdoor, and hazardous, right? Okay, so obviously down under uses not permitted, it's going to say not permitted outdoors, not permitted in wet locations, and it says it's not permitted in any hazardous classified location. So the trigger to remember this one is understanding and getting used. So what do I tell folks? What is something I always tell students? In our program, in the Fast Trax program, there's built-in flashcards. Take some time and create a flashcard for every single article. That way you start getting proficient. You're like, boom, FCC, 324, okay, 250, grounding about. You know what I'm saying? That way it just comes to you. And they're built in. They're electronic, so you can just make any number you want, that type of thing. And it's, part of the process of making them. You help you learn, right? A lot of people in the old days, they get their index cards, get an index card. On one side, put the article, and the other side, put what it is. And that works too. If you want to do the manual index cards, and they sell index cards, but I always say, why buy them? Half the fun is making them. So just go to the dollar store and pick up a thing of index cards that cost $1 probably. Or if you're in our program, you can make unlimited electronic ones on just about anything that you want to make. Okay? But that's a good way to start learning all of them. All right, so we're going to answer the question. Let's go back to the lesson. Y'all did awesome. So here we learned that these three, it is certainly not damp. And our reference is right there, 324.10E. Very specific. E. Cool. All right. All right. All right, let's go to the next one here. Okay, let's see. All right, so let's see here. Next question. All right, y'all ready? Y'all are kicking it. Kicking it. All right, next question. Let's start the timer. Go. All right, receptacles installed within blank feet, because that's a foot symbol, of the outer edge of a bathtub or shower stall shall be GFCI protected. Okay? 4 feet, 6 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet. You know the answer. I knew Josie was going to throw, Jose or whatever was going to throw the answer. Now give me the code reference to support it. All right? So this one you're probably familiar with. Again, if you're in the Fast Trax, you should be familiar with this one. If you're working with GFCIs quite often, you should know this one. But we want to see what the code reference is, and that way we can see how to support it. Okay, I got some answers on there. Now give me some code sections. Dustin says you can actually print them out from the Fast Trax double-sided. It works great. Cool. Oh, I didn't know. That. Hey, Dustin, I didn't know that you could print out the index cards. See that? Dude, where's my horn to toot? Learning stuff new every freaking day. No 210.10a, Fabian. I don't believe that's what that's going to be. All right. Okay to quit. Go ahead, Paul. What? What are you talking about, Swartzy? What are you talking about? No, Fabian, 220.88. Now are you just all over the place, 220? I'm about to kick you out of the room because I don't know if you're serious or not. All right? Okay, I'll do it. I'll kick you out. All right, so, all right. So, we're working out of the 2023, but you might be in the 2020 or something like that, so that's okay. All right, but you're 6 feet. I like the 6 feet. All right. Timer's still going down to 3, 2 seconds. Okay. All right. They're missing that timer. Nobody gave me the answer. You gave me 6 feet, but you didn't give me the code reference that is adequate. All right, they're starting to flow in late here, but they're still not 100% accurate. I guess depends on which cycle you're on, maybe. But we're going to use 2023, and then you tell me if you feel you were accurate or not. All right, so let's go to the code book and find this answer. All right, so let's go to the NEC. All right, and we're over in the NEC, and we're going to go, where do we go? Where do we know we go for GFCIs? All right, y'all got that part, you know, 210.8. All right, now we're going to be looking at, obviously, for dwelling unit, because this was just talking about what? Bathtub and shower. Okay, so nothing special. So we're going to go down here and let's see here. Bathtubs and showers. Item number 10. So this would have been 210.8A10. It says where receptacles are installed within 6 feet of the outside edge of the bathtub or shower stall. Got the 2020. Papa Paul. That's what they call me. I'm going to go look and see what it says under the 2020 because I don't really care about the 2017. No disrespect to you 2017 folks. I'm just so beyond that now that I can't really, not going to focus on that. All right, so let me look here. It was actually, I think some of you said, I see some A's, I see some 8s, but no, it was actually 210.8A9 in the 2020. Swartzy got the 2020 reference. There you go. A little late there, Swartzy, though. I'm just saying. Little late on the gun for you there. All right. Hey, Jay, welcome. I didn't see Jay Jones in the house, but thanks for joining me. I think I shouted out to Red Dog, Christopher. I don't make sure I don't miss anybody that I hollered out to. Fabian, I did holler out at you, I think. All right. All right. So 6 feet. Let's look at the reference. Let's go back to the lesson real quick. There's your 6 feet, and there's a reference, 210.8A10. And this is a 2023. In the 2020, it was A9. Say either reference I would have taken. Okay, all right, get a little faster, guys. Get a little faster on the gun. Let's do this. Next question. You ready? Get your code books ready. Let's go. All right. The definition of blank is, don't you hang back. You just got every right to answer as anybody else, Swartzy. All right, the definition of blank is performing a function without the necessity of human intervention. Okay, all right. So let's see here. What is this? What do you think? What is it talking about? Something has to be performed, a function has to be done without anybody interacting with it. This should be a no-brainer. This should be that first wave. If you're exam prepping and you're going through that first wave of questions, this should be one. It's like, and what does it read like? It reads like a what? In fact, what is the second word in the thing? What's the second word? Definition. That should trigger you right away, right? There we go. Now they're rolling. Okay. Thank you. There you go. Now they're rolling in. All right. So that's what we've got. And so we can go to, well, we're not even going to go to the NEC because you all knew that said the definition of meant that you went to Article 100. So if you're taking that first wave on your exam and you see a question, hey, look, if you get lucky enough for a freaking question to actually have the term definition in the question, then that should be a no-brainer, right? We don't all get that lucky. Okay, there you go. Hey, Ryan's in the house. I didn't see you, Ryan. Thanks for joining. Okay. So again, y'all got that one. That's pretty straightforward right there. And there's your reference, NEC 100. Great job. Y'all are kicking butt. All right, I got my timer set. I need y'all to be a little more spiffy. All right, you ready? Even before I finish reading it, y'all start reading it. Man, you ought to be able to see this screen. I blew it up big for you because everybody's probably got eyes like me. All right. So next question. Start this timer here. All right. The blank is used when sizing branch circuit conductors, overcurrent protection for short circuit and ground fault for motors. The nameplate, the full load current, the voltage, and locked rotor current. Think about this for a second. What do we use? As Michael's going to jump on me again. What do we use that's the most important one we use for all those things? Y'all have heard me preach about it forever in my videos. When to use a nameplate, when to use the nameplate, and when to use something else. Okay? All right? Answer too quick there, Josie. Or Jose, or whoever it was. Okay. All right. So, timer's going. I mean, at least we've got an answer on the screen. At least we do have an answer there. All right. Okay, I got one answer. Think about the question, folks. Timer's going. I got 1 minute and 2 seconds left. I get a second one that says nameplate. We're going to have to do a little lesson here. We're going to have to do a little lesson. I can see I got a third one with nameplate. Okay. Are y'all fast track students? There we go. Okay. Keep the answers coming. Y'all got 42 seconds left. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on, answer it. Give me code references. If you believe that's right, Karen, Alberto, and Jose, then you need to give me a code reference. Looks to me like you might have guessed. Okay? Red Dog, I hear you. Only have one person with a code reference so far. And it's not the exact code reference, but it's close. What's up, Russ? Tell Peggy we said hey. Welcome. Okay. I got some references on here. Okay. Jesse. Which way are you, Jesse? Now I'm confused. All right. Ryan says nameplate. All right. Okay. All right. Timer's up. Okay. All right. So let's go look this one up. Okay. All right. 430.6A1, Fabian. Okay. That's what I'm actually looking for. All right. So let's go to the NEC. And remember what all of you voted. Remember what all of you said. Okay. Let's go to the NEC. All right. So what are we talking about here? The question was asking about branch circuit conductors and overcurrent protection for short circuit and ground fault protection for motors. So it's sizing the conductors and sizing the short circuit ground fault protection. We always use the FLC for that. We use the nameplate for what? Overloads. But for short circuit, ground fault protection, and conductor sizing, we always use the FLC, the full load current. The reason we do that is because that table remains consistent. So through the years, if people replace motors that are equivalent to what's in the FLC, that doesn't, then you can't play, Karen. Or Karen. You can't play if you're just guessing. It's not going to do you any good. It's not going to help you. So, but you can watch. Okay. And I'll let you just answer. But anyway, so we have to remember that. So before I go look there at the code, you have to remember these are fundamentals. Ready? With the motors. You ready? Let me give you this. Short circuit ground fault protection, FLC. Overload protection, nameplate. Conductor sizing, FLC. Okay? These are the general motor rules. The FLCs are found in the back of 430. 430, 248, 249, 250. Those type of areas, right? Single phase, two phase, and three phase. We never use two. It's generally a single phase, three phase, most probably anyway. So that's where you go to get the FLC. You never use the nameplate to size the conductors, except when you're doing something for motors like periodic duty, variant duty, all those type of weird ones under 430.22e. Okay, that's a unique thing where you're using nameplate for that. But general purposes, for general applications, just remember, sizing the short circuit ground fault protection or those conductors to those motors, you're going to be using the FLC, not the nameplate value. Okay. All right. So where does it say that? Let's go to the NEC. Oh, we're already at the NEC. Okay. So let me go on and get here. And where we want to be is we're talking motors, right? So we want to be at the beginning of motors where we get all of our guidance. So let me get down here to 430. Right here. And we'll just go into the scope first. All right, so we'll go into everything. Here's this little nifty pictogram here. You just remember this is here. Might save your butt. In here's your, your right here, your short circuit ground fault protection, where to go, and all this good stuff. But what we're looking for is the direction. And here's conductor ampacity and motor ratings right here. Okay. Now here is 430.6A1. It says, other than motors built for low speed, that's less than 1200 RPM, or high torque motors, and the question would have to state that. So this is just for motors in general. It says the given values in table 430.247, 248, 249, and 250 shall be used instead of the actual running rating marked on the motor's nameplate. See? So you're going to be using the FLC from these tables for that. Okay. All right. So hopefully that will hammer it home for you in where you have to go. Okay. Make sense? Okay. And hopefully y'all are familiar with those tables. That gives you all of the FLC full load current. That's the amps of that specific motor at that given horsepower based on that table. Okay. So that's how you answer the question. So let's go back to the lesson. All right. And it's going to be full load current right there. Or is it 30.6A1? Okay, y'all didn't do so good on that one. That's okay. You need to watch my motors video, which is available over on Fast Trax Tube. If you're a Plus member or you're an annual subscriber, watch that video. Okay, it's also available in your Fast Trax course as well, guys. Down under where motors, that whatever unit motors is in, you should see the video there. It might say 2017, but it doesn't matter because this stuff really didn't change. Okay, the basic concepts haven't changed. All right, let's go to the next one. You ready? Okay, all right. Fresh clock. Everybody ready? Next question. We'll put that one in the past. Move it, get rid of it. Here we go. All right, folks, let me start the clock. It says the bonding jumper on the supply side of a service is sized based on the blank load, overcurrent device, ungrounded supply conductors, or the service drop. Now don't just guess, Karen. I know you don't have a code book, but, and I don't even know if I'm saying your name right. Is it Karen? Karen? I hate to be butchering it, but I'm good at that. So which do you think it is? And give me the code section where we can go find out what we're talking about. Okay. And let's see here. All right, then let's see here. Clock is going. You got 1 minute and 16 left. You have choices. Unless I lost everybody. I assume y'all all still out there. Okay. Bonding jumper on the supply side of the service is sized based on what? The load? So this is a supply side bonding jumper. Don't you sit out there Schwartzy all quiet. If you know the answer, you need to type it. Load, overcurrent device, ungrounded supply conductors, or the service drop. Christopher, got it. That 38 seconds. I don't know if I'd say C2, but you're in the right direction. How about that? All right. Anybody else? Got 20 seconds. Hey, this is for you folks. I want you to make sure you can dissect the question. And then I'll look at it before we go. All right. 50.92. Jay. All right, that's the timer. Okay. All right. There you go, red dog. Okay, so when I'm looking at a question like this, folks, the first thing that comes to mind is it's a supply side bonding jumper, SSBJ, which, by the way, we're getting rid of acronyms because people think the term BJ is funny and they're not adults and they can't, whatever. So this is a supply side bonding jumper. There are 3 different areas of Article 250 that you need to try to commit to memory. When we're sizing equipment grounding conductors, it is based on the overcurrent device. When we're sizing grounding electrode conductors, it's based on the supply service conductors. If we're sizing a supply side bonding jumper, it's going to be based on the ungrounded supply conductors because we're bonding the supply side. So it's all based on the size of those conductors that are supplying the system. There is no overcurrent device up front, so we're not using that one. The load would be on the load side where all the loads are, so that would be like an equipment bonding jumper, right? That wouldn't be a supply side bonding jumper. Just think supply is bonding things that are prior to coming to the service disconnect. You know what I'm saying? So, and then of course the service drop, well, that's just totally out of the question. That's from the pole down to the point of attachment. That doesn't make sense, okay? When it comes to sizing, all right? Because that's utility control. That's on the supply side of the point of attachment. So the utility can make it any freaking size they want. So it's not going to be any benefit for us, okay? They tend to do whatever they want to do, right? When it comes to them. All right, so let's we dissected this question. Now, again, 3 areas that I want you to be familiar with in Article 250. 250.66, that is going to be your grounding electrode conductor sizing. 250.122, that's going to be sizing equipment grounding conductors based on the size of the overcurrent. And then it's 250.102C1 specifically, in this case, for a supply side bonding jumper. Of course, it's also a table that we use for the minimum size grounded conductor 2, for the main bonding jumper sizing, system bonding jumper. All of that gets done in 250.102C anyway, okay? All right, but let's go there and we can look what it is in the code. All right, so we're here and we're gonna go to 250 and we're gonna go to 250.102. Remember those 3 tables I've told you about. Those are the most critical thing you can remember to help you, at least it'll help you dissect 250 up to a little bit more palatable in that scenario. All right, so 250.102 right here. And so here you see it says supply side bonding jumper. Okay, so size. So that's C, right? And in our case here, since it basically just says supply side of the service, doesn't say anything about paralleling or anything like that. So basically you could reference 250.102C1 because even C2 ultimately down here in here, it's going to drive you back to C1 anyway. So the answer is 250.102C1, right? And it says the supply side bonding jumper shall not be smaller than specified in table 250.102C1. All right, what does the table say? Right here at the top of this table, it says size of the largest ungrounded conductor or equivalent area for parallel, right? So obviously, if it's on the supply side of the service disconnect, it's going to be based on those supply ungrounded conductors, okay? Make sense? All right, so we're dissecting that out. So lock in your brain. Sizing from a panel down to ground to electrodes, 250.166. Sizing the size of an equipment ground that goes in the raceway where a breaker's in front of it, 250.122. Sizing, minimum sizing for supply side bonding jumpers, system bonding jumpers, main bonding jumpers, grounded conductors, all of that, 250.102C. If you can remember that, you're already half the battle on an exam that asks you about grounding electroconductor sizing or supply side bonding jumper sizing or even equipment grounding. If you got that all worked out, then you're already ahead of the game, right? Okay. All right, so let's go back to the lesson. All right, so there you go. And here's our reference. And I must have said something wrong because about 15 people just dropped off immediately, just totally disappeared. All right, I'm an equal opportunity offender, so it's always possible that I've offended somebody already. Okay, all right, so there we go, folks. All right, so I think maybe one of you got it, two of you got it. Okay, gotta do better. We gotta get snappy. Mike was absent. Okay, so no excuses for Mike here. All right, next question. All right, ready? I'm gonna set the timer. Again, I've got it. 2-minute timer going. I need y'all to, I've got it right here under the mic. You can't see my mic, but it's right here. Here it is. We're here. All right, let's go. Timer. Equipment that is installed in an area with deteriorating agents shall be blank. Labeled for the use, approved for the use, identified, don't guess on me, identified for the use, or placed in another area. Okay, so you got 1 minute and 38 seconds left. Let's see what you find. Okay. And think of this one, dissecting this one. It looks to me like this is a general requirement, right? Pretty much general equipment requirements, talking about has deteriorating agents and all that kind of stuff. So this should put you in where you need to be in the right place. Now, if you're looking at your index, you could look under deteriorating agents in your back. While y'all are doing it, I'll look just to see. I do have my code book handy with me. Okay, I don't have an index online. I wish they would do that, but they don't. So waiting for your answers. We got 50 seconds left. If you already know the answer, that's great. But we want to see if we can find it. And I'm looking in the index. I do see it in the index. It is in the index. Pretty blatant where it tells you to be. Okay. So I see some answers on here. Okay. I do see some answers. I see some wrong answers too. So it's a 50-50 on the screen right now. Christopher versus Karen. One of them might be right, one might be not. Jesse's got some, didn't give me the answer, but he gave me a section. Okay. All right. I got another section, Roberto. Didn't give me an answer, but gave me a section. And there's our timer. All right. Good news is you're probably going to have more than 2 minutes on your exam, probably 2.5 minutes. All right, so I got a lot of 110.11s. That tells me that it's in 110. That's the general area, okay, in the code. So let's go and look. Okay, and there's another 110. So let's go to the NEC. And let's go up to the general. So we're in general requirements for electrical installations. That pretty much that question looks like it to me, right? It says equipment installed in the area where deteriorating agents. Y'all know that 110 covers all those basic general coverage things. Okay, so but if you had gone to the index in the back and looked under deteriorating agents, it would have had only one thing, and that would have sent you where you needed to be. That one thing. And how many of you did that? Give me I don't know if you can give me a thumbs up, but how many of you put a 1 in the chat if that's what you did, if you went to the index and found it just that quick? All right, so we're going to go over here and look. Here's 110. All right, there you go. Thank you. All right, we did 110, and we're going to go down. And even if I were to bold scan, right, then I'd see deteriorating agents. So even if I bold scanned 110, there you go. Figured that was just as easy to go to the index. And here you see it. It says, unless identified for the use. Operating in the operating environment, no conductor or equipment shall be located in a damp or wet location. We're exposed to blah, 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 blah. All right, so back to the lesson. There you go. Y'all all use here's the thing, some people don't realize. You identified, well, that's MC cable, Jay, so that's not going to apply to us here. This is a general requirement. There was nothing in the question that was germane to MC cable. It's just a general question. Incidentally, in 330, that's where you would use something like a PVC jacketed MC for something like that, right? That type of scenario. But again, 330 wouldn't apply because we weren't talking about MC. We don't want to go to MC because we weren't talking about MC. And 300 is a little bit more general because that's a direct bury. 300 in applications, so I don't know that 300 is certainly where I wouldn't want to be either for this question. So we said it was identified for use, and there it is, 110.11. So this was a general question, and it would have been under. So the other thing to kind of work off Jay here a little bit, 300 is general requirements for wiring methods and material, right? So this is just general to equipment, okay? So it really wasn't about any wiring method and any materials associated with that or what. This is just a general, so that's why it would be in 110, okay? As opposed to 300, which starts out by saying general requirements for wiring methods, and it really wasn't. Yes, it might be classified as equipment, but this is a little more broader of a question that's going to be a 110, okay? But at the end of the day, you identified deteriorating agents, and if you had gone to the index, boom, you had been right there in like no time. All right, let's go to the next one. He said, all right. All right, next one, here you go. Ready? I got the timer. Let's go. It says communication conductors should be separated at least blank, and it looks like feet here, from a lightning conductor, excuse me. So communication conductors shall be separated at least blank feet. Jesse just says 6, gives me no code reference. Conductor, but this would be normal for Jesse. I'm just saying. So, and Fabian says 2. So, all right, Jesse, you're battling with Fabian. Who can give me the code reference earlier to support yourself? Communication conductors should be separated at least blank feet from lightning conductors. Okay. All right. So, what do we got going on there? Y'all got a minute and 12 seconds left, so you got plenty of time. Okay. One key thing here, Fabian's giving me a reference, throwing out a reference to support himself and his support. Oh, but now Fabian, have you changed to 6 feet now since you went and actually looked it up? All right, so Jesse was right, and who knows? All right, so we'll probably go with Jesse on this one, but Jesse didn't give his code reference. So, all right, so where do you look this up? So this is communication conductors. All right, and we're in the 2023 edition. So this is communication conductors, and this is going to be something that you know that there is a specific article, right? I'm starting to see the right article pop up now. So this is something that deals with communication. So that should have been a trigger where you would be in communication, okay? Now, we don't have the index in the computer, so if I were to go under communication, just to see what it has, and of course the questions about conductors, again, from separation from lightning, all right? Our 2 minutes are up, and I do have enough answers on the screen, so I think y'all did fine. Let's go look real quick. I'm looking at the index. Need to shout out to NFPA and ask them to please put the index in this thing. It'd be so nice when we're teaching, but they don't listen to me anyway. Never have, never will. And they listen to me even less when I'm at the code panel. So, for some reason, NFPA is not a big fan of Paul Abernathy. All right, but who is, right? All right, so let's look. communication. Let's see what we've got. I got M, N. Do I see anything under communication? And I don't see anything. Maybe I didn't go far enough. Yes, I didn't go. I went too far. All right, communication. What do we got? It should be it should be something in here. All right. My eyes are freaking. Oh, I didn't go back far enough. Freaking really? Okay. Here we go. So we're looking at communication, Article 800, and then we look down at bold, scan it really quickly going down. And let's see here. We have some grounding in the communication system. Okay. Well, look, folks, under communication system, you see where it says lightning conductor, right? And it says 800.53. So if you look down, you're under communication circuits, but we're talking about a communication system, and the conductor is associated. So you keep on going down, you see communication systems, and then it doesn't take you long to see lightning. Okay, so lightning conductors. So it says 800.53. That's what it says in my index anyway. So let's go to the NEC. And let's go down here to 800. And remember, this is now general requirements for communication. So this is where you're kind of be like this is like the Article 300 for communication, right? So this is where you're going to get all your general requirements for that. So let's go here. Here's where we're at, right? And we said in the code, it said 53 in the index. So we're going to go, there it is. Separation from lightning conductors. Where practical on buildings, a separation of at least 6 feet shall be maintained between the lightning protection conductor and the communication wires and cables and CATV type coaxial cables. So absolutely 6 feet, good job. 800.53 is most certainly the code reference. Great job for those that got that one. Go back to my timer. All right, so let's go back to the lesson. So where did y'all figure this was talking about a communication system? It was a general requirement, and lightning conductor, and we went to the index. It was communication system. And that's how we kind of dissected it down. So there it is, and there's your reference, 800.53. Good job. All right, y'all ready for another one? Let's go. Let me start the timer. It's on the screen. Boom. The smallest overhead service conductor permissible for a limited load, single branch circuit. Okay, so we have a very limited load, maybe a single branch circuit. Maybe it's for a piece of equipment that's being an overhead dropping to a pole to a piece of single of equipment. All right, what is it? The smallest overhead service conductor permissible for a limited load, a single branch circuit is blank AWG copper. Don't guess. Give me code references. Don't do that. We don't want to ever guess. It's like not practicing perfect, that type of scenario. And then in your mind, you'll start thinking that that's the answer, and it's not. So at least that's what happens to me. So, and I've always got my code book with me because I've got what? I've got Link on my phone. So I always got the code with me. I'm just saying. All right, you got 58 seconds. I see some people answering. All right. So let's see here. And I'm liking what I see as far as is the code reference. I'm not sure I like what I see as far as the sizing, but you know, because you got to remember, Jesse, there's always exceptions to the rule. You know what I'm saying? There's always exception to the rule. So let's see what we've got here. This one might shock some people. All right, but it did not shock Karen, who didn't give a code reference, but actually was pretty sharp, right? All right, so, oh, now they're starting to come in. All right, Jesse you were too quick on the gun, Jesse. Might be also too quick on the gun. All right, so what we're looking for here is, okay, so first thing, timer's running out. And I'm really testing y'all because, man, 2 minutes is short, but okay. And there might be a delay, right? A little delay. Ryan's got some references there. Alberto is throwing out the exceptions. Jay, go look at the reference. All right, and see if it's a little deeper than that. Okay, so let's dissect this. So obviously, this is service conductors. The other part of it is usually when we're talking about sizes and service conductors, it's going to be up in the front part of 230. Okay, so if you're going to be bold scanning, it's up in the front. Now, if you have your index, you could look under overhead service conductors in the index. Anybody did that? So I'm going to look real quick in my index, see if there's anything under overhead. So let's just see if there's anything in here. Overhead spans. Okay, well that's not one we're looking for services. So we have, what's the question? Overhead service. So there's overhead service conductors, and it says 230 part 2. Okay, that's where it's talking about, but goes on and talks about clearances. And let's see here. Oh, minimum size. It gets me, okay, so 230.23 is going to get me started in there. So, man, that's really all I need right there. So we're going to go to 230.23, and then we're going to bold scan and see if that is actually the minimum size. So let's go to the NEC. Great job on at least getting folks there. All right. And since I happen to work for a company that makes this, I kind of knew that y'all had to think about this little, extra information. But that's, so let's go to 230, and we'll just go there. And we know that we're going to go to 23, because that's size and ampacity, right? Right. All right, minimum size. Minimum size. The conductor shall be not smaller than 8 copper or 6 aluminum or copper-clad aluminum, exception. Can y'all see the exception? Yes. Exception, conductor supplying only limited loads of a single branch circuit, such as a small polyphase power-controlled water heater or similar loads, shall not be smaller than a 12-gauge hard-drawn copper or equivalent. Okay? Which is kind of weird rule anyway, right? Because most of us manufacturers make soft-drawn, but this is something that's basically an overhead, so it needs to have that extra tensile strength. So that's why it would be a hard or equivalent. Okay, if you're never familiar with that, most people, just between me and you, they're not going to buy that anyway. It's always going to be aluminum. But hey, you could do copper, and you could, and theoretically, to answer the question, 12 would be the answer for that conductor, right? Hey, Corbin, welcome to the stream. And I don't remember if I welcomed Ryan, but Ryan, I want to catch you, make sure I catch you. So let's get back. All right. So again, 12 is going to be the smallest based on the exception. Let's see what the reference is. There we go. 230.23b exception. Don't forget those exceptions. Now, on an exam, they may tell you up front to ignore all exceptions. So just be aware of that. Okay. We don't do that because we want to make sure that you fully learn all of the aspects of the code, and exceptions are fair game. Okay. All right. Good job. Let's go again. Let's do another one. All right. Let me start the timer. Y'all see it on the screen. Get your code books flipping. For those that have your code books. Ready? Go. The grounding connection shall not be installed using blank. Okay. Pressure connectors, listed clamps, solder only, or exothermic welding. Okay. All right. Y'all probably know the answer to this one, but I need you to support this answer. Where do we see this answer at? All right. I see an answer on the screen, but give me a code reference. Now, in my mind, there is a specific section that deals with, and I serve on a certain code panel that might be dealing with this kind of thing, there is a specific area, a section that talks about terminations and what you can and what you can't do. Let's see who all remembers where that is. Okay. Now you can go to your index. You still got 1 minute and 10 seconds on this one. Okay. You already know the answer. You boom. Oh, I see them starting to pop up on the screen. Very good. Very good. All right. There we go. We got a couple on the screen now. Michael just being broad, like Michael's just gonna say the whole damn 250. Look at him. He's like one of those inspectors I knew back in the day that used to go out. One of my inspectors used to go out and write up somebody, and he didn't understand whether it was a grounding issue or not, and he just used to put rejected Article 250. And he used to come back in, and I used to do periodic review of their inspections. And I would read that, and I would call him in my office, and I'd say, "What are you doing?" He said, "Well, I didn't know the answer, but knew there was something in 250. And I'm like, "You can't do that. Not in a jurisdiction that I'm in control of. I need you to be specific. Otherwise, that person doesn't know how to fix it. You just gave him a random 250, and now he doesn't know what the crap's going on, right?" So, all right, timer's up. All right. So we see one in there that at least says pressure connector. All right, and I can tell you this much, Fabian, for your pressure connector one. Pressure connector would be like a wire nut and all that stuff, and they're perfectly fine. So that's not going to be it. Okay. All right, so let's go and look in the code and see where that is. That special area that I told you for terminations for grounding and bonding is section 8. All right, so let's go into the NEC. So little things to remember. You get a question about acceptable termination, all this kind of stuff, pressure connectors, things like that. Dot 8, okay, in 250. It's going to be where you need to go. So let's go on and go here. And let's go to 250. Let's go right here. And I'm going to jump back up to dot 8. All right. And it is titled Connections of Grounding and Bonding Equipment. Okay. Well, here you go, Fabian. The first one is you're okay to use listed pressure connectors. That's not a problem. You got any of these type are fine. But the one that's not permitted is B. Connection devices or fittings that depend on solder, depend solely on solder shall not be used. Okay? So, soldering by itself, that type of thing. Now, interesting thing about soldering, though. So, when you pre-twist conductors together and then you solder them, they are mechanically connected first, physically connected, twisted. And so they're not actually relying 100% on solder. So to be honest with you, Corbin, I used to do a lot of soldering my joints. And my brother still does that today. That's the old school way. He'll go and solder everything and then come back and tape everything. I mean, and it's okay. You just can't have solder be the only means. So in other words, if I brought my conductors together and I didn't pre-twist them and I soldered it and the only thing holding that joint together is solder, then that's not going to work. If I pre-twist them so they're going to be held together, whether I solder them or not, then I could solder them and I'd be okay. Okay, so don't go run and change all your joints. You're fine. All right. Okay. Let's go back to our lesson and solder only. And there's your reference 250.8b. Okay. All right. Next question. Let's go. I'm gonna start the timer. Y'all got your code books ready? A troffer luminaire shall be connected to a suspended ceiling grid by one of the following mechanical means except blank. So this is the recessed fluorescent, called a troffer or trofer, depending on where you're at. Drops down in a grid, okay, in a suspended ceiling grid. And it says that it what? By following mechanical means, except clips, rivets, screws, or fixture wires. Now, this should be a no-brainer, but I don't see anybody throwing anything on the screen, so give me code references in this one. Okay. But where do we need to be? So if I'm going to connect the trofer to the actual ceiling grid, you have ways that you can do it, right? Okay. There you go. Well, you know what? It's I want to say that the only one so far with 41 seconds left to get it is Jose. And maybe the screen is lagging for everybody. Okay, I thought this one would be fairly easy. But boy, out the gate, Jose was all over top of this one. See if anybody else is following. Now, when I look at this, we're talking about a luminaire. So that immediately is going to put me in Article 410. Immediately, because I'm seeing a luminaire. That's the subject of the question, getting dropped in a suspended ceiling. And we're talking about, the question is, if I secure it to the grid, what methods allow me to do that? Whether they're the clips that come with the luminaire, that's listed with the luminaire, whether they're rivets, whether they're screws. But why on earth would any fixture wires? That was the one where you should answer that in the first wave of your exam prep, right? Right away. You're going to be answering this one. But finding it. And half the battle is luminaires. Now, if you knew it was luminaires, and you knew it was 410, and you went to the index, and you went under L's for luminaires, and I'm looking under luminaires. Let me see what I got under luminaires, if that's just happened to be what you did. Under luminaires, I'm looking and seeing, let's see here. Well, you got connections for luminaires, but that's really not what we're looking for. I'm just kind of, while we're still going here, I'm kind of looking down and see what else might be anything relevant in here. Supports. All right, so I'm looking under supports. I see a bunch of stuff, but nothing's very specific. Okay. All right, so I don't see nothing under luminaire. I think that would have hit me there right away, but I know it would have been in luminaire, right? I knew it would have been there. So I probably would have just jumped straight to I probably, to be honest with you, I probably would have jumped right to about I probably would have jumped to 410 part 3 or part 4, somewhere in there. I would have gone right to 410. Bold scanning, what I'm looking for. And what I'm looking for is the supporting rules for the luminaire that's put inside of a, hey, what's up, Vladimir? Thanks for joining. All right, so let's go to the NEC real quick. And so let me just kind of show you how this would have broken down. So I would have, without a doubt, let me close this one here. I would have, without a doubt, gone to 410 because this is talking about a luminaire. All right. Now, if I would have gone to 410, let's see here, let me get here, 410, right? And I would have been okay. And so then I would have been, here you go. So, yeah, like I said, this looks like, actually, this is part 4. and it would have been luminaire supports. So I would have gone here to supports, as we're talking about supporting the luminaire, right? Right? Yeah, trees. Kyle got there by looking at trees because it probably puts you in the support. So it puts you at least in part 4. And that's where you really need to be. Then you could bold scan. So whatever can get you, you know it's a support issue. So whatever got you there to support, and then you bold scan. And I'm going, okay. All right, 36 means a support. All right, luminaire support. Oh, whoop, suspended ceilings. Okay, all right. So when I'm looking at that, I'm thinking, okay, well, that's what we're talking about. So it said framing members of suspended ceiling systems shall be supported luminaires, shall be securely fastened to each other, and shall be securely attached to the building structure at appropriate intervals. Gotcha. It said luminaires shall be securely fastened to the ceiling framing member by mechanical means such as bolts, screws, or rivets. Listed clips identified for use with the type of ceiling framing member and luminaires shall also be permitted. Now, typically, since drop ceilings are pretty standard tracking these days, so most of the clips that come on the luminaires are okay. If that luminaire is okay to be in that grid, then chances are that little clip's going to be okay as well, and they usually are built into it. You just turn them out. You could get some pushback from an inspector, but they're part of the luminaire, and that's what they're there for, so they're part of the listing of that luminaire. So in our question, clips, rivets, and screws, most certainly. Fixture wire, not so much. We knew that right away, but we had to go through the effort. And so there it is, 410.36b. Okay, makes sense? Yep. All right, let's do another one. Y'all are actually killing it. Okay. So, hey, Alberto, you are taking your non-residential lighting technician test in 2 weeks. Alberto, what kind of test is that? Because I'm not even familiar with a non-residential lighting technician. So is that just commercial lighting? You're going to do trophers, things like that? You're going to be working on that type of thing? Michael, is there something under suspended ceiling grid in the index? This is great stuff, folks, because this is why we look at the index. Is, again, you could go in the back, and I want to look under P. Let's look here real quick. Suspended ceiling grids, absolutely. And that would have taken you, well, you would have had 3 to go through, but it would have got you to 410.36b eventually. And what do I say, folks, when you go to the index? If you find something, write down the references on your scratch paper if you're testing, so you don't have to keep flipping to the back. So you could have gone to suspended ceiling, suspended ceiling grid is what I guess Michael did. You could have just gone to, knew that it was support, so you could have gone to just part 4 of 410. If you've been studying, you could have gone to 410 and then looked and down through there and bold scanned it and got you there. So a bunch of different ways, and I don't know if there's another way there. Let's see here. I think we looked under luminaire. We didn't find it there, but it is under suspended ceiling, and I don't know if there's anything else. That's probably the only places you're going to find it. Okay, good job. Retrofit work. Okay, luminaire, fixtures, and LEDs. Ah, gotcha. How do you feel? What's your comfort level? What do you feel? You feel like you're going to ace it? You should say, yeah, I feel like I'm going to ace it. There you go. All right, let's do another one. All right, y'all ready? Timer starting right now. Let's go. The service disconnecting means shall be blank and either inside or the nearest point of entrance or outside the building. Readily accessible. Used as a surge protection device. Protected or locked. Okay. There's just general question. It's talking about the service disconnecting means. I'll remind you, it is not talking about the emergency disconnect requirement in 230.85, although that could also be a service disconnecting means. But this one is going to be germane regardless, right here to this question. So you've heard me say the service disconnect mean has to be outside or nearest point of entry, but it also has to be what? All right, Kyle's got to answer. Y'all give me the reference. Let's go. Give me a reference. Y'all got 1 minute and 9 seconds left. Reference, please. Y'all know where you need to be, right? What are we talking about? We're talking about a service disconnecting means, okay? That should help you. And this actually happens to be one of my favorite areas of 230. I talk about it a lot. Outside nearest point of entry, yada, 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 okay? We have B in the house. Welcome, B. I don't know who B is, but welcome. I see a lot of readily accessible, but I don't see anybody giving me a code reference except for Alberto got it. Now, B is close to the reference, close enough, but I understand the typing. Jesse, we're talking about a service disconnect, so we're not going to be in 225, right? And we got 12 seconds left. And I think a consensus here is everybody believes it's readily accessible. BA1, there you go. B came back with it. There's a timer. Okay, so this is one of those things, folks, that you know service disconnecting means they always have to be readily accessible. That's a no-brainer. So if I saw that on the screen, I'm going to think readily accessible. That's one of the now, readily accessible outside or nearest point of entry. So some jurisdictions let the service conductors come in a couple feet. But reality, if you were to read the code rule as it's written, it says outside or nearest point of entry. So the moment that cable or raceway breaks through that wall into the dwelling, that is the nearest point of entrance. So it should actually terminate in the back of in a panel and go right into the overcurrent device. But, every jurisdiction's a little bit, different, and everybody allows a little bit more. Especially, what if you came into the back and I forced you to put the panel there, but because of you were forced to put it there, now you didn't have working clearance. So now I created another hazard. But if you had shifted it a foot to the left, you'd be okay. But what that meant is you would have a foot of unprotected conductor. Well, that's why other jurisdictions are like, we'll let you go up to a certain distance, but we want to keep it as short as possible, okay? But if you were to follow the code and you were a code purist, outside or nearest point of entry means the moment that it pokes through the wall, okay? So where's that at in NEC? Y'all got it absolutely right. One of my favorite ones to quote, 230.70A1, and we'll go look at it for services. Obviously, y'all identified it was a service. All right, except for Jesse, who was locked on a feeder. And we'll go down to 230.70. And there's a location, and there's readily accessible location. So the service disconnect means shall be installed in accordance with 230.70A1. It says the service disconnect means shall be installed in a readily accessible location, either outside the building or the structure or the nearest the point of entry. And in Jesse's defense, even disconnects that would be to feeders have to still be readily accessible. So there you go. Okay, so let's go back to here. So obviously the answer, the new book doesn't grab the eye. All right, there you go. I will remind you that is not a code change, Jesse, just so you know. All right, so reference 230.70A1. Good job. All right, got it. One more. Let's go. Ooh, three-phase question. All right, I'm going to do the timer. Let's get it. A three-phase, 220-volt, 30-horsepower synchronous motor with a power factor of 90% will have a full load current of what in amps? Don't you people guess on me now. All right, this is a good question. What is the answer in amps? 63, 69.3, 76.23, and 86 or 86.62. Now, Michael's going to hate me for this. And Michael's going to say, don't do it. Did you guess, Josie? Because give me your code reference. All right. Michael's going to say, don't do it, Paul. Don't do it. But this is a unique motor. It's a synchronous motor. That should be a trigger for everybody. Now, you know where I told you to go previously for FLCs, right? This is a specific type of motor, and it's bringing in a power factor component. How do you solve this one? But yeah, Michael knows me well. All right, so 44 seconds left. We only have one answer on the screen, but we need to find the code section, and we need to do the math. And we'll do the math together. Relax. All right, so I got another one that says 63. Okay, so we have two different answers here. So we're going to have to learn from this one. But I got a couple seconds before I give it to you, and we'll go work it out. Just kind of let the timer do its thing. And let me put it to you this way. I don't see any correct answers yet. I'll just put it to you this way. All right. Now, Fabian, 430.52, that's going to be for short circuit ground fault protection. Hey, SureFirm or SheriffFirm or whatever. Welcome to the, welcome. Ah, Ernest. Okay, I like Ernest now. Doesn't give me a code reference, but I like it. All right, dismiss. All right, timer's up. Okay. All right, folks. Stop guessing, Jesse. What is with you? The man with the beard is just guessing. All right. Okay, y'all ready? Let's look at this one now. Okay, so unique motors, 3-phase. It's a synchronous motor. And your question on the exam, they throw in a power factor. We've never figured power factors previously when we've done things like short circuit ground fault protection and all that kind of stuff. But all we're trying to find out is what the FLC is. So that should have been the first trigger that you're going to be going back to 430.250. Okay, so let's go there real quick. And we'll work this. So watch how we do this one, guys. Let me find 430. Okay, so remember, on an exam, think synchronous, that's different. And then it asks you about a power factor. All right, so let's go here to 430. And we'll go down to these little nifty tables. I can get there. All right. All right, so we want to be the 3-phase. So we're not 2-phase. We're going right here. And I'm going to see if this will blow up. I don't know what it'll put on the screen. Not enough, but we can scroll over there. Okay, so the difference. The left side of here, folks, is induction type squirrel cage and wound. We said synchronous. Let's move our butt over this way a little bit. Here's the side we want to be on. Now, if you're able to write in your code book, if you're able to do highlights in your code book, then drawing a line right here down the middle can help you visualize that these are two different tables, but only do it if your state allows you. Now, if you're not taking an exam, you already got your license, and you just want to make life easier, just draw a line down there. All right? So see this little asterisk right here? This reminds us about power factor. Unity being 1.0, but obviously we have a 90% power factor right here. All right, so first of all, we got to find our motor and get our FLC. We got to find that first. All right, so it was a 220. So again, we're going to use 230. And you say, well, why aren't we using a 220? Because if you were to go back over here and you read this stuff over here, on the left side, you'll see that 220 through 240 is covered in the 230 over here. So that covers all of it, scope. So here you go. So here's the 230. And we're going to go down and we got to get to a 30 horsepower. So we assume it starts down here. I need to go to the left to find out what column I'm in. All right, here's 30 right here. So let me just highlight this so I know which column I'm at. Let's go back over here. All right, so 63. So let's write 63 down. Everybody together, in unison, 63. But remember that little asterisk right here? And you got to look down here at this notes. Notice this note. Oh, y'all can't see the notes. This sucks. Now I gotta scroll this thing for you. Hold on, let me get to where I can show you the note. All right, so let me go down here. So y'all see this note right here? All right, so if for 90 and 80% power factor, the figures shall be multiplied by 1.1 for 90 and 1.25 for 80. Okay, and it tells you to do this, multiply. So I'm going to take that, what did we write down? 63? 63 times 1.1, and that is 69.3 right there. Woo, there's the math. All right, so we're going to go back to the lesson. 69.3, and there's a reference in 430.250. Just remember, synchronous motors, ding, 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 ding. It's not the normal motor that you would have. Normal motors on exams, you're just normal type B, normal wound motors, those type of things, not a problem, okay? But just be aware of that, okay? Don't let it get you. If they throw out there a power factor and they throw out there a synchronous, then you're like, whoa, I know where to go now. I know how to figure that. And now we know what that little note down, the little asterisk down there is, okay? I knew you all knew that one. All right. Okay, last one for the night, folks. Unless anybody's got one of the units they want to go look at a question in their unit. Let's go on in. And Jesse, you're guessing again. Stop guessing. All right, next question. We're going to cut Jesse off. All right, next question. Conductors sized at blank, AWG, and larger shall be protected by insulating bushings when installed in a raceway. This was huge over on TikTok, folks. How many people think that cables require an insulating bushing, like an SE and all this kind of stuff? They don't. Only conductors, insulated conductors that are inside of raceways require this, okay, for this case. So it's a code reference, and what's the size, okay? Oh, I never started the timer. Crap. All right, timer started. Answers are already starting to come in. What do y'all think? I got some 4s on there. No code references, but I got 4s. Don't have any code references yet. Got more 4s, but y'all just going off memory. That's great, but y'all know me. I want to know where you found it. Oh, by the way, does everybody know that in your Fast Trax program, when I do sorry, Christopher. All right, that's not correct. Not correct reference. Okay, now I'm getting partly references now by B. He's giving me some references, but not giving me the whole thing. And then Freeland is giving me a total different conductor size. Okay, y'all got a minute left, but let me tell you a little bit here. I don't know what I was talking about. I lost train of thought. I got ADD anyway. So y'all got about 48 seconds, and nobody's given me the right code reference yet. They give me pieces, but nothing right. And I got some right answers, but I got some wrong answers here. So remember, we're talking about raceway. So what are we asking here? This is not any specific raceway. This is general. Okay, it's just talking about raceways. It's a general installation application. Okay. All right, now I'm starting to see some come in. B just said, screw it, I'm done. So he says, I'm out. All right. Jesse, really? All right. All right, timer up. Jesse just guess it. All right, so now Swartzy's just throwing stuff out there. All right, so this is a general requirement. It's talking about the general installation, okay? And so we'll be under the general wiring methods. Again, this covers the general. So we know we're going to be in 300, right? And so we're going to be looking at Article 300 for this and its insulated bushings, right? So let's go to the NEC. General requirement. So we're going to go 300. Okay. General requirement. Right there. And we're going to be looking down. And the other thing to remember is the whole, think about this. It's under the general requirement, but it's protection of the conductors, right? So it's talking about protection. It's about protecting the conductors as they emerge from a raceway. Not any specific raceway, because we do have requirements in the raceway types that would require some type of bushing, but this is a general conductor talking about, a certain size and when they emerge from a raceway, okay? Which has nothing to do with cable, everything to do with raceway. Jose, Mr. Gonzalez, I just want to tell you that I passed my electrical contractor's exam. You were very helpful. Very good program. Well, congratulations. Hold on. Everybody, congratulations. I love to see it. Another successful contractor out there, and you learned the right way. There you go. All right, now they're starting to roll in. 2-minute timer's long gone, but they're starting to roll in. But y'all are now getting it. This is a general. So when I read this question, I'm looking for it's a general requirement. Now, if it asks me something specific to like an EMT or a rigid or something, then I would be looking in there, right? This is a general question, and you have to get kind of used to that, right? So we're over in 300. And when I said protection, remember the whole purpose of these insulating bushings is to protect the conductor. So if we're in 300, we know we're going to be in 300.4. Again, right here, protection against physical damage. And then we're going to just bold scan down, and we're going to be getting to fitting. Okay? Because it's an insulated bushing, goes on the fitting, right? It says where raceways contain 4 AWG and larger insulated circuit conductors, and these conductors enter a cabinet, box, enclosure, or a raceway prior to the installation of the conductors. And that's something new for 2023, by the way. I love that clarity. It's trying to let you know, hey, don't goof up and try to slide it on afterwards. It has to be on. You should always figure that you should know that, right? But now the code is saying, hey, dude, just put the thing on there before you try to put the conductors, because you kind of defeat the purpose, right? So 4 gauge, absolutely. And again, this only applies to raceways. If you're out there putting in anything, well, I can't do every code cycle B, sorry. It is in the 2017. So you want to make me go look? I'm going to do it, because I hate when people say, I don't see it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Don't doubt me. 300. Let's go. Protection against conductors, 300.4. Scroll down. Let's see what we got. Insulated fittings, G, right there. Where raceways contain 4 and larger insulated conductors, and these conductors enter the cabinet, blah, 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 same words. Boom. That is the 2017. So it's still 300.4 G. Didn't change. Going to be 4 and larger. There you go. All right. Back to, let's go to chat real quick. Oh, wait a minute. We didn't answer the question, did we? We got to answer the question. 4. Oops. 4. Reference 300.4 G. And just remember, folks, that does not apply to cables. Save yourself a buck. Don't put it on those SER or SEU fittings. Don't do it. It's not needed. Because of how the cable's clamped in, the conductors, to bend them out there, they're not gonna hit the side. It's not gonna be an issue, okay? So, it's not the same as if it's all coming in loosely through a raceway and somebody bends it tight. It's not going to allow it to be it. So if anybody says to me, yeah, but the inspector wants it anyway, well, you know what? If that you want to do, that's fine. But I'm going to save, I don't know what they cost today. How much does a 2-inch or 2 1/4 or 2.5 inch bushing cost? Maybe $2, $1.50, inflation, could be up. You never know. But I'm going to save it. So anywho, hey, Lou, thanks for coming. B. All right. B says one more. Y'all want to do one more? Let's do one more. I ain't going to let y'all go. I'll do one more. Why not? Let's do one more real quick. Here you go. A single conductor of medium voltage cable rated at 2001 volts and higher shall have a solid blank insulated cable. Copper, aluminum, dielectric, or silver. Which is it? What do you think the answer is? I'm waiting. See if anybody can find the answer. All right. Now, this is going to be a little different for you folks because this is the 2023, and we have a whole new article for medium voltage. Okay. So, people are going to say it's got to be copper or aluminum or even silver, heaven forbid. So, the only logical answer here is going to be one, right? But this is a new article in 2023. Okay. So, there you go. Jose, give me a code reference. 2023 is the code reference I'm going to give you. All right. So, and it is medium voltage. Now, let's see. I'll do the 2020 on this one. Let's do 2020. Do I want to do 2020? Let's see here. Yeah, so it changed. So 2020, I might as well help you. Now you're going off. Why would it only have to be aluminum? How many medium voltages do you find that's just aluminum? And solid aluminum, hell, people don't like solid aluminum for branch circuits today, so you know damn well it ain't going to be solid aluminum because oversized 8, everything has to be stranded, right? So, wouldn't be the answer, obviously, right? Right? And B says 328.100. You're in the 2017, so I'm just going to go look just to see whether you're even remotely in the realm. Okay. Yeah, I will buy that. But what's your answer, B? You didn't give an answer. You just give code references. All right. So, and 100 doesn't seem to answer that question. Okay. So, anybody else? Just wait for some because it's certainly he doesn't know the answer. So we know it. Are we talking about a conductive material? Or think about medium voltage. There's something unique about medium voltage in that it has to have a lot of additional insulation. Okay. So anybody else got a reference? If not, we're gonna. Okay. Now, in the 2017 code 4B, if you're in the 2017 code, it's actually part of the definition, okay, in what medium voltage is all about, okay? It's part of the definition, all right? But we're going to look in 2023, all right? So for you, B, it would be 328.2 is where you'd find your answer. But let's go to 2023, and I'll go here, and we'll go look it up. So first thing we know, we're in medium voltage. So since it's changed a little bit, in the 2017, it was 328. In the 2020, it went to 311, but that code panel can't make up their freaking mind, right? So now they jumped to the 2023. It's now 315. It jumps all around. So the best way to be familiar with this is you knew right off the bat this was medium voltage, so you should have gone to the front table of contents and saw which one is medium voltage. Now, as far as the 2020 goes and the index, let me look under medium voltage real quick. And I think deductive reasoning, y'all would realize that it wouldn't be solid copper, solid aluminum, or solid silver. I mean, I think that should make sense, right? But let's still look under medium voltage in the back and see what we've got. Because you remember what I always say, folks, get familiar with that index. Let's see, medium voltage, let's see, construction, 311. All right, so it's not very big, so I would have bold scanned this. I wouldn't have been worth my time trying to go anywhere. I would have gone to 311, and I just would have said, screw that. I would have started bold scanning. Same thing for the 2023. I would go right to 315 and start bold scanning, right? There you go, Jesse. Jesse's stopped drinking the moonshine, and he's back to answering the questions. So let's go to the NEC. And we're in 2023 again this time. I'm going to go right here to medium voltage, 315, right? And you got all your information here in 315, okay? All right, so in 315, we now have what? If you look at it, it's basically broken up, and you're going to see shielding, okay? You'll have all this information here, right? You have shielding, you have non-shielding, you have shielding, you have all this other good giggly goop here, right? All right. So what are we looking for? So we know it's not what? We know that it's not going to be copper. We know it's not going to be aluminum. We know it's got to be silver. Although if we made it silver conductors, I wish everybody would buy silver. All right, now, non-shielded ozone-resistant insulated conductors with a maximum phase-to-phase of 5,000 volts shall be permitted to be yada, yada, yada. Not ours was 2001 and higher. So it says, for other establishments, solid dielectric insulated conductors operating above 2,000 volts. Okay, so again, of this question, there's nothing about copper, nothing about aluminum, nothing about silver. Deductive reasoning would have said this has to be solid dielectric insulated material. So that would have been the answer for this. Now, interesting, I will show you so that you all know before we leave. If you go back here, you notice that dot twos are missing. So that's a definition, right? So, so when you go back under the 2023, the question is, it used to be under dot two. Is it now still say solid dielectric in the definition of medium voltage? So I'm interested real quick. I want to go look. So let's go down. Remember, all the definitions in the 2023 code are now going to be in the front. Every definition. Okay. You're in the 2020, it's dot twos. And the same thing if you're in the 2017, by the way. All right, so I just want to real quick go down here and look under medium voltage. I'm interested to see. Let's see here. That's maximum voltage. Do we not even have medium voltage in here anymore? Or it might be worded differently. It might be under voltage. Where are we at here? There we go, voltage. Okay, so we got a high, we got a low, we got nominal, and we got voltage. All right, did we get rid of medium? Are we not defining it? That's no damn way. Somebody help me out. I haven't really looked for that because I don't do a lot in medium voltage, to be honest with you. But now I'm curious. How did they do it? And can y'all tell I'm squinting? I still can't see the screens. This is interesting. Let's see here. I'm looking. Y'all seeing the same I am? Yeah, y'all looking the same thing I am. All right, so I'm looking here. Is anybody? I was there so close. What? Did I miss it? See, I was so close. Maybe I missed it. Hold on here. Hold on, he said I was so close that I can hardly see the. Right there. Here's M. Am I missing it? Am I missing it, folks? The hell is it? Did we not move a definition? Am I back down to the bottom? Oh, God. It always ends this way, doesn't it? There's high, there's low, nominal. Am I missing something? Did we take a definition of medium voltage and totally not put it in here? Y'all help me out. Anybody got the... Let me go back to the top. I'm not going to let anybody... Y'all can go, but I'm not going to go until I can freaking see where this thing is. Because I know what medium voltage is. We don't make it, by the way. But... All right, maybe it's under cable. Okay. There we go. There it is, under medium voltage cable. Everything else is low voltage, high voltage, but they put this under cable. All right, that should make sense, right? All right, it's new. We see the in here. All right. Oops. Get rid of that. Let's see here. All right, so medium voltage. There you go. A single multi-conductor, solid dielectric insulated cable. So you wouldn't be able to find this one under 100 as well. But how much you want to bet the code reference doesn't say that? How much you want to bet? Let's go here. So I know it's dielectric. Let's see, drum roll. Let's see what it says under the reference. I have a feeling it's going to send me to 315.44 because that's just about the shielding. And by the way, all medium voltage has some type of shielding or a neutral, it's concentric or whatnot. So that's why I ended up back in there. But anyway, reference. 315.44. So it was back there. But hey, the beautiful thing about that, folks, beautiful thing about that is I would have found the answer in two locations. I would have gone to 100 for medium voltage, or I would have gone to 315 if you're in the 2023, and I would have found it under .44. Now, somebody said look somewhere else, and it was, somebody said look under 311.12b. Can you look at 311.12? I can, and I'm assuming that means you're looking at the 2020 edition. And that should still have, though. I'm going to do it before I let y'all go. Let me go look because I had a request. And you wanted to look under 12B. Now let's go here. I'll take you to the code real quick. All right. Yeah, so this is the conductive material. Right? You don't see silver in there. This has nothing. This is the conductive core. So that really is not a solid dielectric. What you think about medium voltage, it's got the center conductive component, right? Then you have, it's got what's called a binder over it. Then it has a dielectric material, which is your insulation, thicker, right? And then it's going to have another wrap around that. And then it's going to have a concentric neutral wrap, right? And then it's going to have an extrusion over that. And so there's different layers to this type of thing, but it is a solid dielectric insulated cable, okay? So the conductor material, that's just the core. Alberto says I was so close. Yeah, looking down them definitions, dude, you know, it's one of those things you're like, dude, you know, you got to look down these definitions and find all these freaking things, you know, that type of stuff. Okay. All right, folks, let me get back to chatting. That was great. Y'all are awesome. I appreciate you all. Hopefully you got something out of that. Remember, if you have any questions in your fast tracks you want me to look up, send them to me, or you can let me know. Tonight I didn't. If you've got one you want me to go to, I'm more than happy to go to it, right? That type of thing. Concentric neutral. You don't really have a ground with medium voltage, right? It's a concentric, kind of a concentric neutral thing, right? Jesse, I'm not even sure if I'm going to take a question from Jesse because you know what? He's been drunk half the night. Paul, do you have Paul, what do have for the 2023 on lamps located in cellulose nitrate film storage vaults shall be installed in rigid luminaires? It's not in my book. All right, well, let's go look and see real quick for you, Jesse. Let's go. And it's every week, Wednesday night, 7:30, same time, same place, same channel. Okay, so let's go look, Jesse. I want to go look. So let me go to the code real quick for you. All right, so let's go to, let me get to 2023. All right. Okay, let's see here. Let's see, am I even in the right area? I'm not looking, I can't see what I'm looking at here. Actually, you know what? It's actually special occupancy. Let's see here. We're looking at motion picture rooms in 540. And let's see here. In there. Is that where you're telling me where do you want me to look specifically for wherever you look for? What was it in the 2020 you wanted to look at? And we'll see here. Actually, you know what? Actually, theater. Sorry. All right, let's see here. Let's go down. Smoke. Supply, arcing. And let's see, dressing rooms, makeup rooms. What do we got here? Hey, Ryan, thanks for joining us right now. I'm just answering some random questions. Let's see, Jesse's got me looking in. Okay, we're looking in there, and then we're looking 530. And let's see what we've got. Wiring methods, communication, size. Wiring, lighting. All right, Jesse, I don't feel like I'm in the right area, so I'm gonna have to go to my index because I don't feel like I'm in the right area. Something's not right. So it's not. So I'm gonna look at your question real quick because I think you're not. I think we're not in the right area. So the question you're asking is, let me go back up. Cellulose film storage vaults. Okay, hold on here. And I don't think we're in the right place. I have a hard time believing if it was something there that they would remove it. So if you're asking me a question out of left field, be a little more descriptive because you weren't real descriptive tonight. So, so help me out and I'll be more than happy to go look for you. Let's see here. And let's see here. I want to look under motion picture steel 530. I don't feel like that one. I'm going to go look under that one, but I want to see what it is in this code before I look into 2023. Because I haven't fully vetted 2023 yet. All right. So here I am real quick, Jesse, and you give me a code reference in yours that you're referencing, and I'll go look. I'm totally the Okay. All right, let's see here. Television motion, let's see here. All right, folks, if you're just hanging around, we're just looking up some stuff that Jesse figured he would try to throw me for a loop and ask some obscure ass thing in part 5 of 5:30. Okay, so the key here, Jesse, I think we're gonna let's look and see. Okay, so it looks like, is this still the same thing? Let me make sure, because I think, let's be right here, because I see where you're going. Let's look and see. So this is 5:30. Okay, I'm with you. And it was a part 5, which was 5:30.51. I'm with you. And now I want to see if it's changed. There's dressing, there's portable. Well, that is interesting. Jesse, that is interesting. Why they would move it out of that? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Because I don't know if that was where that was, might have been relocated. Because I would think that it was. Maybe it's because that's probably not cellulose nitrate film storage vaults. They don't do that anymore. Maybe that's just not the standard practice. So let's see here. We're gonna use link here to our advantage, because I don't know where that would have been. And I can promise you that's probably not one that I'm going to study, because I'm just going to type in nitrite. Let's see if we can find something. Is that spelled right? Yeah. Is it nitrate? No, it's nitrate, isn't it? Let's do this real quick. And let's look. Okay. Cellulose nitrate. Okay, so, that's scope. Ah! All right, let's go look at something real quick. Let's go to 2023 and see what they might have done. Looks like, okay, in the projector room, let's see if they added something under this one. Jesse, you with me still? Yeah, I know, because some of the books, you get from Amazon, they're totally missing stuff. I get it. So let's look and see if it was relocated. No. So that's 540, wasn't relocated there. That is quite interesting. I am stumped, and no, I don't have my 2023 physical code book here. It's at work. So I have that index. Let's see here. Let's look under 520 just to see whether or not anything was relocated. I would think not, but there's fixed stages. Yeah. Fixed, no. I have a hard time believing that it's totally that they would have gotten rid of it, but I don't know. Let's see here. I don't remember that showing up in any code change that I've done either. Probably because when you remove something, chances are we don't talk about it, but it's not there either. The only other thing I could think of, it would be under. We do have cannabis now in 512, by the way. So for you that want to get your smoke on, you got your oil and cannabis right here. So that one, we do have that. Not under 530, not under 540. It wouldn't be under, see if anything was moved under here real quick. Nope. Got special condition, hold on, I don't think so. Not sure, Jesse. I will have to look that up and try to find that out. What I'll do is I'll go back and look at the history, and if it is somewhere else, I'll find it. But I'll look at my index when I get have my actual 2023. I don't have the index with me. This is why I wish they would put that in link, but they don't. And I'll see if they moved something around. But sure enough, you don't have a messed up code book. It's just it's not where it was before. So if it's removed, there'll be a reason that it was removed, and I can look that up in the online on NFPA, and I can see where it was moved, or if it was deleted. I can't imagine it'd be deleted unless it's just not something that they do anymore, right? That's the old. Nobody has the old that type of storage and all. So maybe it's not there, or it might have moved. But if it was in the index, it'll be in the index of the 2023, and I'd have to go look it up. I don't have that with me. So promise you I will get the answer to that and at least find out where it is, or, that type of thing. Okay. Oh, yes. Thank you. Soundboard, Jesse. I'm going to add some more sounds to the board. So thanks for reminding me because I did forget. Let me write that down so I can try to get some fresh sounds. But other than that, Corbin, I get my code books come directly from NFPA. So I get them straight from the source. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I get them. Okay. There is no time left to do any sizing, any of that tonight. Remember, if you're going to ask me questions, you got to send them 24 hours ahead of time, unless it's something out of your Fast Trax program. Although, unless I can answer this question for you. What is your question? Question if still some time sizing MC wire 2 into a junction box. Should I use 314.28A1 pull box? Or is MC a conduit body or a raceway? MC is neither a conduit body or a raceway. But when you're looking at 314.28, it tells you that you take the MC, or you take the cable and you treat it like what size raceway would you need if it was in a raceway. Okay. So I'll show you that. I'll go on and answer that for you. Let's see here. Karen, I'm studying for a residential license. Great help. Congratulations on that. Studying for that. You're in the program. Okay. Every Wednesday, we'll try to be here and answer. Make sure if you have specific questions y'all want that me to do a display on, then you could have sent it. Like Fabian, I could have done a little graphic and showed all this, but I need to have y'all send them to me ahead of time. All right. But let me go to the code book. I'm already in the code book. So let's go real quick. So I'll show you. And we'll just go 2020 because chances are that's what you're probably in. So 314.28. Okay. All right. So notice that this says boxes and junction boxes and conduit bodies. All right. It says boxes and conduit bodies used as pull or junction boxes shall comply with 314.28 A through E, right? Minimum size. It says for raceways containing conductors 4 and larger that are required to be insulated, and, okay, you ready, Fabian? You ready? And for cables containing conductors 4 AW or larger, the minimum dimensions of pull or junction boxes installed in a raceway or cable run, shall comply with 314.28A1 through A3. Now, when you're doing straights times 8, straight is 8, or splices or angles is 6. When you have, let's say, a raceway, but right next to it you have an MC cable, Okay, because that's your question. You got to come down and read this piece right here, Fabian, right here. So this is the key to it. So if you need to find out what the value is to do the 6 times 2 inch or whatever, since you can't use MC because it's not it doesn't come in like 2 inch or 3, it's just MC, right? And it has a range, right? So what you've got to do is, like it says right here, it says when transposing cable sizes into raceways, when using 14.28A1 or A2, it says the minimum metric designator or the minimum trade size raceway required for the number and size of conductors in the cable shall be used. Okay, so if your box is there and you're bringing in, let's say, EMT, and you have an MC coming in as well, then whatever conductors that you have inside of that MC, you want to take those conductors out of it, and you need to size the raceway that would be required if you were to put those conductors in a raceway. Does that make sense? So you're going to do a raceway calculation to see what's the minimum size raceway you would need to hold the same conductors that would be inside of that MC. Okay? And typically you're going to you could use EMT. The code doesn't give any direction. You could use EMT if you want. That's going to be the thinnest wall, give you the best yielded value. Okay. Now, if you're doing rigid and then you're bringing an MC, they're probably going to want to use rigid because that's what you're doing. But the code doesn't state that. It just says transpose it into a raceway. So if you were to take that MC and it had 3 hots and a neutral and an equipment ground, then you would do a raceway fill calculation and try to determine what size raceway would I need. Once you know that size raceway, then forget that it's an MC cable. Treat it as a raceway, even though it is MC, and then do your normal calculation like you would if it was a raceway. Make sense? If it makes sense, give me a hell yeah. And we're going to end on that. Okay? I'm just saying. Okay? All right? Let me go to the chat. Or let me go to the end here. All right. Hopefully I explained that one. And I appreciate you all. Thanks for hanging in, everybody that's still hung in there. Every week, same time. If you have a topic you want me to discuss, hey, this is your time, folks. Send it to me. Mike, you're creative. If you want me to go over something for a lesson and you're struggling with it, then y'all folks just send it to me. Y'all know how to do it. Just go to paulabernathy.com and send it. And I will be more than happy to try to do some training to help supplement this amazing Fast Trax program. We'll add more to help you learn. Anything that I can do to help you learn, I'm here for you. All right? All right, folks. Appreciate you all. I'm going to let you both out. This was a long one. A little longer than normal on Wednesday nights now. But that's okay, because as long as we're learning, it's all good, baby. All right. Y'all take care. Till next time, stay safe. Hey, God bless. And do me a favor. Do me a favor. Let's all say a prayer for this country because we need it. Take care, everybody.